Yeah, I got cut off there. Anyway, so getting back to this thing called balance. So I had this close friend years ago who used to travel all over the place, and he came back from Japan. This book called The Teachings of Buddha, and I remember reading that book back in like 94, 95, around that time, long time ago. Anyway, the book said something extremely heavy. It said that life is like a guitar string, and if you tighten a guitar string too tight, the guitar string will break. And if you keep it too loose, you won't get the right note. So you have to have it attuned properly in order for the guitar string to perform its intended function. I was like, man, that's heavy. That's deep. And life is like that. You know, we grind, but we also have to find time to relax. Sedentary time to sit down and reflect. And it's very, very difficult to do that in the modern world because we're constantly engaging in stimulation, constantly stimulating. We're on our phones, we're in front of computers. You know, for those of us who live in the city, it's a lot of noise, constant engagement with stimulation. And never in history has it been like that. You know, years ago, if you wanted to hear music, you had to actually go to like a live show. I'm talking about like before phonograms, before records. You know, people had to actually learn how to play instruments. Singing and dancing and music was an art because it wasn't as accessible. So in order for you to do it well, you had to put some time into perfecting the craft. You know, it's just like anything else on the market. You know, accessibility diminishes the value of it. You know, caveat of history, the Spanish economy during the colonial years when they were first colonizing the West, and they discovered gold in the New World, quote unquote. It was new to them, it wasn't new to us, but you know, in terms that they used, New World, they found gold and they went haywire, man. You know, they was flooding the whole Spanish economy with gold, and what happened was the economy crashed because they didn't realize that, you know, if gold is too accessible, then, you know, the value of it is going to drop, you know. And that's a profound lesson in economics. But anyway, there was never a time in history like the one that we live in today, at least in recorded history. I know that there's, you know, that there are things, evidence throughout the world that suggests that there was advanced civilizations that have existed prior to this one. And I'm of the school of thought that yes, there were, and I don't believe that this is the first time in history that man has, you know, attained technological advancement. There's plenty of evidence for that, but that's not the purpose of the video. At any rate, in recorded history, there's never been a time where we've existed like this. Usually, people had time. If they traveled by caravan, by horseback, or they were very sedentary. They performed their duties, and their life was centered around, you know, what they had to do in order to survive, which afforded most people plenty of time to reflect, time for introspection. And, you know, everything in life is a balance. And, you know, we go, there's no perfect situation. You know, it's no utopia. That doesn't exist. You know, it's a trade-off. It's okay, if I do this, then this is going to come as a result of that. You know, I'm trading this circumstance or this situation for another situation and circumstance. Everything is always going, whatever situation you're in is going to have issues. That's just part of life. You just got to learn to accept that. You know, the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll have peace of mind. But there's trade-offs in life. So what you want to do ultimately is have efficiency, right? Efficiency is what we strive for, not utopia. That's the stuff of fairy tales. That's something you find inside of a crack pipe. You know, it just doesn't exist. At any rate, so we have technological advancement, yes, it's wonderful. I mean, you know, even now, like, I mean, what am I doing? Like, I'm driving to work, I'm sharing some thoughts. I got my eyes on the road, you know, obviously that's my primary focus, but, you know, I'm sharing some thoughts while I'm on the road. And there's never a time in history where one can do that, or recorded history where one can do that. So, you know, this is a good thing. But at the same time, you know, we got to find time for balance, man, you know, because we drive ourselves out of our damn minds, you know, constantly being stimulated. Just, oh, man, I got to be in the know. You know, I got to stay on Facebook. I got to stay on social media just so I can be in the know of what's going on. You know, a lot of people suffering from psychological issues. Now, there's a whole market development of psychology, you know, in therapy around, you know, phone addiction and social media addiction and things like that. So, you know, we have to find time to balance because the human, see, you know, we're a system. Scientifically speaking, the human being is a system. And everyone has a threshold. Everything in the universe has a threshold. And the more you intake, you know, you have to find time to relax, and then you can take in more. It's like when you work out. You can't just go hard constantly. Your body has to rest. It's like a muscle. The muscle, when it's resting and when it's fed, it's when it grows. When you're working it out, you're tearing it. That's the tearing process. The process where you see physiques and growth, normal growth, not abnormal growth, like, you know, anabolic steroid stuff, but normal growth within your genetic capacity is when you're resting, when you're feeding. So it's about balance in life. It's not about constantly being in fifth gear, driving something crazy like that. Then you check out, man. You know, you check out. People mourn for a little while. They go to your funeral, and everybody goes about their business. You know, so you got to care about you. Ultimately, you got to be the one that cares about you the most. So, that in mind, now I feel a little bit, but I wanted to just, you know, briefly touch on some other things. Now I got a little bit of time, you know. So, something came to mind the other day. I was having this discussion with a brother, and you know, we were talking about America and what this country really is about. And you know, I was telling the brother, I was like, you know, a lot of us, man, you know, we got it backwards. Like, we don't really understand what this is about. America is about private property. You know, that's what this thing is about. This is about ownership. You know, carving out your destiny for yourself. Right? You got life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And no government on earth can grant you rights. Government's proper function is to protect your rights, not to grant your rights. So the only legitimate function of government is to protect your inalienable rights. And inalienable, just a fancy word for saying your birthrights. Words that, you know, rights that you're born with. You're born with the right to life. No one has the right to take your life without justification. No one has the right to infringe on your liberty without justification, without what they call due process of the law, which is secured by your Fifth Amendment. You ever hear people say, "Oh, I plead the Fifth" in court? That's what they're talking about. The right to due process. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to not self-incriminate. So if you ever get jammed up by the law, don't say anything to them. Don't talk to police. Courteous. You be respectful. Respect authority. Respect the badge. Get yourself caught up, jammed up, trying to hold court in the street. Getting loud with a police officer. Understand if this is an armed individual. These are human beings. You don't know what this man gone through. Maybe his wife ain't give him no nookie for a month. I mean, anything. People go, these are human beings. They live lives too. You don't know what this man's going through. It's not always, these police don't always have tattoos of black babies on their arms, they're not all card-carrying members of the Ku Klux Klan. They're human beings. They go through things, And the last thing you want to do is engage someone. You don't know where this man's mind is. You don't know what kind of mind, a woman's mind is. You don't know what kind of morning they had. And then being disrespectful. There's a time and a place for that. There's never a time and a place to be disrespectful. I'm not saying that, but there's a time and a place to hold court. It's called the court system, right? The last thing in the world you want to do is try to hold court on the street. Be respectful. They ask you, "You know why I pulled you over? Do you know this?" You say, "No, sir." Don't self-incriminate. That's a trick. That's a trick, right? They'll say, "Oh, do you know why I pulled you over, sir?" You say, "Yes, sir." Or, "No, that's a trick." Say, "No, sir." Right? Start asking you questions. I don't consent to a search. I don't consent to a search, right? Because searches and seizures can only be justified through due process, which is the judge has to grant law enforcement a warrant to search your person, to search your home, and then that warrant has to be detailed specifically what they're going to search. If they search something that's not in that warrant, then that can be thrown out in court. It's inadmissible. Right? So you have the right to due process, right to life, right to liberty. You have the right to pursuit of happiness. Pursuit of happiness is you have the right to contract your labor. Right? Technically speaking, no one can, grant, no government or state can grant license or privilege for something that is a natural right that's protected by the United States Constitution. I'm talking civics right now. I'm talking law. So you have a right to contract your labor. You have a right to contract your skill. Contract it out, at the market rate. You have a right to do that. No one can take that from you. And that's what this country is about, in a nutshell. This country's about. This country's not about free healthcare. It's not what this country's about. And even though, it sounds cold-blooded, government doesn't have the right to give you free healthcare. And I'm going to explain why. Because you don't have the right to someone else's labor. You don't have the right to that. That's the definition of slavery. Labor under compulsion. You don't have the right to do that. See, technically, a person has a right, any individual, regardless of what the profession, they have the right to contract their labor as they and work as they see fit. So government doesn't have the right to force someone to purchase something against their will. Government doesn't have the right to force someone to service someone against their will. That's the technical definition of slavery, compulsion, right? And that's the reason why, one of the reasons why free health is, and but I'm not even getting into the economic reasons, but that's one of the reasons why that's not government's function. Government's function is to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Its function is to protect your inalienable rights, your birthrights. That's it. That's the only function. Now, I'm not saying that private individuals or organizations should not come together to provide health, free, whatever. There's nothing free. Get that word free out of your mind. It's nothing free. Somebody paid for it somewhere. But healthcare, affordable healthcare, charity, feeding the poor, all of that stuff is noble. It's taught by every religious school of thought on earth. And if you have any strain of humanity in you, obviously it's something that you want to do, right? We don't want a society of monsters. We want to encourage people to be charitable, to be of goodwill, people of goodwill, and you know, treat people with respect and how they want to be treated, right? But there's a difference between doing that as a private individual, setting up philanthropic organizations to perform those functions. But that is not a legitimate function of government. You understand? So that's what America is about. That's what America is about. And coming up from slavery, right? The descendants of slaves in this country, which I'm not a member of, not in this country. I'm a mixed racial background, for the record. You know, I don't want people jumping down my throat when I start commenting on things and they say, oh, you don't have the right to comment on that. That's BS. I'm a brown man. My family's from Spanish West Indies. I'm a Creole, Spanish Creole. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I got a stake in this too. You know, if I walked into a Klan meeting in the 1930s, I wouldn't be called brother. So, you know, you all need to come off that BS, man. You know, we in this struggle together. That's one of the tricks that, you know, Willie Lynch and the powers that be use to divide and conquer, man. They want to pit the light skin against the dark skin, the so-called Hispanic brother against the so-called Negro. You know, we all in this struggle together. And we want what's better for our people. You know, so we have to come off that BS. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So the descendants of slaves made tremendous progress, right? Initially, because what they wanted was land, and that's what they was really asking. A lot of people, like you had men like Tunis Campbell. These are people that you don't hear about in your everyday textbooks of history. But you had Tunis Campbell, who had his own little thing set aside, right? I forget exactly where it was. I think it was by the Geechee Islands off the coast of Georgia. But they wanted land. These people wanted land